Our next contestant is contestant number 3, Myra Lim. I am Singaporean. I am Singaporean. Myra Lim.
I am Singaporean. I am a Singaporean who entered Secondary 1 not having taken PSLE. I am a Singaporean who spent 85% of my life overseas in Shanghai, China. I never lived in Singapore, but when asked about where I was from, my answer, in a heartbeat, was Singapore. I do not know why. Even now, I struggle to put into words the reasons behind why I identify as Singaporean. Well, it might have to do with the fact that I spoke fluent English, but not so great Mandarin. Sorry, Nan Hua. In the majority Mandarin-speaking city, I spoke the bare minimum of Mandarin in my day-to-day interactions. Why, you may ask? Well, everyone around me spoke English. It was like I lived in a tiny microcosm of Singapore, surrounded by people who lived and breathed Singapore in their accent, mannerisms, and memories. Nothing so different from being in Singapore one lah. And so, though I lived in somewhere so different, we were a mini battalion of Singaporeans with a strong love for cheap deals and overbearing kiasu concerns, insistently carving our home in a different place, oceans away. I remember when I lived in Shanghai, every 4 years, the Singapore government would carry out an event known as Singapore Day. Well, what was Singapore Day? Singapore Day was an event for Singaporeans to come together to celebrate Singapore, with people driving over 2 hours just to participate in the event. Local hawkers and performers flew in from Singapore. The aromas of local food like nasi lemak, chicken rice, and laksa filled the air, and NDP songs blasted from speakers. It was as if they were trying to forcibly remind us of the wonderful things we left behind. Like, look at all these things. Don't you want to come back to Singapore now? Yet, despite the festivities, I always felt as if something was lacking. As if I was watching some mimic of Singapore through a looking glass. As if someone had tried to draw Singapore but had never actually seen it. Was it the contrivity of it all? Or was it something inside me that knew that home could not just be replaced by food and song? This year, I was finally able to witness a National Day celebration. A Singapore Day held in Singapore. Now, you'd think National Day is kind of a family thing, but my family ditched me and I had to watch it through a terrible TV screen with my friend this year. We spent the better half of the programming laughing at the costumes on screen and complaining about the screen quality. Wasn't there a costume that looked like a McDonald's uniform? Yet, despite not experiencing the fervour of patriotism like I did in Shanghai, and despite not being surrounded by my family, I knew that I was truly home. Yes, home is a bunch of people far too old to be doing the Kallang wave with such enthusiasm on their faces. Home is laughing at the most trivial of matters with your friends. This is home, truly, as my senses tell me. Home is where the heart is. I know Singapore not because I've read about it, not because I've been told or reminded. I know it as I feel it. I am Singaporean. Thank you.